Hello and welcome to YakWaxLips. My name is Michael, your point-and-click adventurer, and this is episode 15 of Let's Play The Hand of Glory. So in the previous episode, we knocked out some woman in some crazy secret factory and ended up trying to find... We've got to find out a pier. There's a boat appearing at a pier, but we don't know which pier. Anyway, we're over here because we've got to rub this out. And I think...
That red mark with fresh paint sentenced that poor plant to death. It had to disappear if it wanted to obtain Roger's help.
And we picked up some... What did we pick up? This. Solvent.
The paint was still fresh, so the solvent would be sufficient to remove it.
Easy. All done. Now we have to speak to the old man Roger.
Good morning, Duke Ravendish.
So you are an actual nobleman. You can stop worrying about the farm sheet.
So you are an actual nobleman.
The Ravendish family dates back to the 16th century, during the time of the controversial Henry VIII.
I can only wonder how an actual duke ends up living on the street.
I do not think my story would be of any interest to you, lad.
Oh, I'm a big fan of Henry VIII. Oh, that was quite controversial, wasn't it? I don't mean the actual man. I mean that period of history, the Tudors. Love it. Anyway, that's a bit off topic. Let's get back into this.
You can stop worrying about your palm tree.
You do not speak fallaciously. I see the mark has actually disappeared.
Now, will you answer my questions?
A Ravendish can be ruthless, but always keeps his word. Ask away.
About the night we discussed earlier. Do you remember witnessing anything suspicious?
The stroganoff stew was cooked without sour cream. These Americans and their culinary reinterpretations. Beyond that, I remember seeing an extraordinary individual. He was not a regular, I'm quite sure of that.
Can you describe him?
Formally attired, classy, possessing remarkable posture. He always had his back turned to me, so I cannot provide further details about his appearance.
Nothing else?
Not that I remember. No.
Another dead end. He was the only witness of the event, and I only obtained a vague description. The alley was a cold lead after all.
Where is my head? I unintentionally omitted a detail.
I held my breath.
As he strode towards the main street, the man received a phone call, from which I only managed to capture certain words. One in particular aroused my attention, and I determined to research it for purely academic reasons. I wrote it down in a note that, given your precious help, I am willing to share with you.
Thank you very much.
Gripped with excitement, I prepared to read the note. It contained just one strange word. Sitlalikwe?
Do not look at me like that. I have no idea what it means.
I'll handle this. Although I didn't know how to interpret it, I was sure that bizarre word would lead me to the man in the mask. I had to consult with Alice and try to tie together the strands of my investigations.
Oh, lad, can you remain a little longer?
Do you want me to prune your palm while I'm here?
You have proven to be a reliable collaborator, so I have a second request of you. Being a detective, you may have access to government databases through which you could research, this.
Ooh, what is
I couldn't
it?
help but notice the effigy, a crow, in the act of surrounding the world with its wings. I had already seen the same symbol shortly before. M's medallion. What the hell was going on? Had I exposed a conspiracy of vagrants? Well, can you give me more specific information?
The crow enveloping the world is the symbol of the Ravendish family, as well as of the company I run. Or, more accurately, I ran.
Tell me everything. Forwards and backwards.
That shan't be easy, but very well.
Ooh.
The Raven was, to me, a constant commitment. I ate with colleagues and slept in the office most of the time. I went home just one weekend a month at most. Over time, I started to ignore my family. First, my wife, who got sick of that situation and left the marriage. Then Cynthia.
Who's Cynthia?
Cynthia?
Samantha?
my only heir. She gave birth to a child, but I was so absorbed that I never went to visit them. When I saw her again, she told me she wanted to leave England to move here, to Miami. I was furious. I had filled her pockets with money, given her houses, clothes, and luxury cars, and she just wanted to abandon me, like her mother did. Oh, I feigned indifference, and she left, repaying me with a taste of my own medicine.
And since then, you've never seen your daughter again?
My daughter reached Miami, but sometime later, she suffered a terrible accident. She was killed instantly, without pain. The baby, however...
He died with her. He had been abandoned.
He had been abandoned.
How do you know that?
Let's say it was a deduction.
What's going on?
My daughter realized she couldn't take care of the baby, so she abandoned him. I don't know what her last thoughts were, but I was sure they were about the choice she'd made. I used most part of my fortune organizing searches, but to no avail. I felt like I was going crazy from helplessness. In the end, I was declared unfit to manage the Raven, and my portion was bought out by a private group, the Fallen Rose.
Before my eyes, the pieces were being arranged in a very strange way. How could it be that the Fallen Rose itself, the company run by Radwed, was connected to that old man met only through chance? At that moment, I began to suspect that my meeting with Roger Ravendish was anything but random after all. You're telling me you stayed in Miami to look for your nephew for how many years, precisely?
12 years, give or take a few days, and I shall stay here as many more need be to reunite with him.
Listen, Duke Ravendish, I don't want to create false hope, but what are the chances that a 12-year-old kid who calls himself M would find himself in possession of your family medallion?
Boy, if this isn't jest, I must warn you that...
I believe it would be better if you came with me.
This is all getting
So
a
this
bit weird.
relic would be my grandpa.
Hey, little monster, watch your mouth.
Come on. I get that you're a bit of a sucker, but I didn't think that much. This guy comes out with an absurd story and I should believe him without any evidence?
Michael, you wear the medallion of the Ravendish family.
Michael?
But there's more. An irrefutable piece of evidence that leaves no doubt in my mind. I see my Cynthia in your eyes. Your mother.
My mom?
Come. I'll take you out of this hell.
The surface. It's been such a long time since I've seen it. It has a weird smell.
City life is a collection of scents. The asphalt, the gardens, the water of the fountains.
The pollution.
You'll learn to distinguish them. But for now, let's go home, Michael.
From the beginning of the story, I had done nothing but use everybody else to achieve my aims. But as I watched that grandfather and grandson leaving together, I realized that for the first time, I'd acted for the good of others, and not myself. It made me feel better.
Wow, that was a huge cutscene. That got confusing because I'm pretty sure that Bundy said nephew instead of grandson. But anyway, that's done now. Let's speak to
Hello.
Alice.
Lars, don't you know that if you have to meet a girl after being in the sewer, you should first take a shower?
I would have really liked to, my dear, believe me. But today is not Saturday.
I already heard that one. So why do you have that strange smile?
I found out that two homeless nobles are related. I've brought them together.
Does it have anything to do with our case?
No.
I understand. First the secondary quest, right? Now, can we get back to the main one?
Right, I found a witness who swears he saw the lunatic who challenged me. Yes.
I found a witness who swears he saw the lunatic who challenged me. According to this highly refined homeless person, the man uttered the word Citlalique.
Circle Ciplo what?
Yeah, I basically had the same reaction. Can you do a search?
Let's see what I can find.
Gonna Google fast, gonna Google fast.
So, the word itself is a proper name, in particular of an Aztec deity. I think in our case it means something else, though. I did a cross-check with anything that might have local relevance. The search produced some matches: a themed hotel in the suburbs, a ship anchored here in Miami, and a strip club in nearby Miami Beach.
It must be the strip club. See you later, Alice.
Stop right there, you pervert.
You don't get it. My instincts lead me to believe that.
Keep your instinct at bay. We need to narrow down the field. We can't afford to go off at random.
All right. But I'm sure it's the strip club.
Okay.
Let's think back to the clues we know for sure. I think we need this. We need to recap.
Alice, let's think back to the clues we know for sure.
So, in the factory you found a reference to a merchandise exchange.
That will happen tonight at an unspecified pier,
Then that witness you talked to gave us a name. Citlalique.
which, among other things, seems to be a ship anchored in Miami right now.
And here we are. I want to do another check. Give me a minute.
Don't get too carried away. The two details could be unconnected.
I don't think so. The Citlalique is a ship used for goods transport and is actually anchored at Pier 5 in the Biscayne Bay. And listen to this. It seems to be registered to none other than Eric Molesberg.
I knew the man was involved with his daughter's kidnapping. Maybe by merchandise exchange. They actually mean the girl. I just have to wait now. If all goes well, I could close the case by tonight.
Listen, Lars, if you're going to sneak onto the ship alone, it'd be better to take precautions this time. Burton wanted me to compile an inventory of new gadgets which just arrived in the department, and there's one thing you absolutely have to see.
Ooh, fancy.
A metal bracelet. Pretty ugly, too. Well,
It contains a powerful tracker that will allow me to follow your every movement.
so, if I were to disappear, you could at least find my corpse. And this other electronic thingy?
You must pay very careful attention to that. It shoots lethal lasers.
Really?
No, silly. It's simply a Bluetooth headset. This will make it easier to communicate. How do you plan to sneak aboard the ship?
I just have to arrange a ride by sea, and I know just the right smelly person for the job. If I hurry, maybe I'll be able to reach him before he leaves the city.
Lars, don't get killed.
Yeah, that would suck. Okay, so let's go to another scene. Hold your horses, everyone.
Then, I saw him. Radwood was there, a few feet away from that crate. From back there, I couldn't hear what they were saying, but the tension seemed as tight as a bowstring. From Mama's agitated hand gestures, I realized that I was the topic of discussion. Radwood, for his part, seemed calm, almost indifferent. Was it possible that my interference had passed so unnoticed?
What are you doing here, Stallone?
Shh! Can't you see I'm trying to listen?
Oh dear. Oh, that wasn't a good start.
They had thrown me inside a cold, dark cargo hold.
Right, I can see a tin of paint, wire, hook.
Oh, that blow was immense. But at least I was still alive. Eugene didn't have the guts to kill me. Not yet, at least. He had also emptied my pockets.
Oh,
If they hadn't destroyed it, the tracker analysis bracelet would bring back up here sooner or later. But would I still be alive by then? I had to escape on my own.
okay, finally we get to do something. Winch cable, porthole, shelves, lock, little hole. Right, what have we got? I've got bar. They didn't take the balm, which makes you think that we need the balm for something. Let's have a look at the notebook. I have to get out of here. Okay, that's winch cable.
The winch was being powered with that cable.
Okay.
The winch seemed to be working. I could operate it with those commands.
What commands? Which commands? Oh, those ones. Right, left, oh, left hook, lower hook.
The hook was already in position.
Okay. Oh, I see. I see.
I couldn't with the hook.
Okay, let's leave that and then just have a look around here first before I start to mess around with that.
I found an old CD player. Old-fashioned, but still functioning. Oh, an original Boney, by the way. Trying to open it, I broke the little reception antenna. It was completely jammed.
So I have an antenna and a CD player by Pony, that famous brand. Come on, Lars.
Although I tried with all my might, I couldn't break the lock with my bare hands.
Alright, let's go and see. Oh, tent. What's a tent doing in
The tent was worn and ripped in many places.
in a boat?
Behind it was just a shadowy area.
Crates.
They were very well sealed, and I didn't have time to try opening them. Not to mention that inside, I'd have probably just found rotten fish and rum bottles. Attached to one of those crates was an inviting piece of adhesive tape, though.
Take the tape. Nice. Nice animation, that. What's that? Lamp. Oh, I've taken the lamp. What's this then? Winch commands, crates, winch cable. Let's have a look at the porthole whilst I'm here. What's that? Cot.
Normally, portholes don't have a locking mechanism, yet that one wasn't opening. And more than just closed, it seemed jammed. Maybe the problem was with the hinge.
Ooh,
I
hinge.
was sure the damage was in there, but I couldn't get a grip on it.
Let's use the antennae. No.
Nothing. The blunt tip of the antenna slipped.
No
matter how hard I tried.
How about adhesive
No matter
tape?
how-
No.
No matter how...
Put that back. Put that back. Let's use the lampshade.
I thought it was better to look...
Yep, me too. Balm. Balm with the
I
antenna?
didn't understand. In that moment,
Okay, let's stop using things with things. Out. And cot.
the springs of that cot were about to give out.
Ooh, interesting.
Literally. No exaggeration.
So if I use something with it...
In that moment, it didn't seem...
Oh, how can we...
No matter how hard...
Okay, using things with things.
I didn't...
Oh, maybe I use a tape with these.
In that moment,
Alright. Tape. Tape with...
sometimes...
No.
Was it really...
Okay, I'm being silly now.
The hook was already...
Hook was already in position. Right. Lower.
I couldn't with...
Right. Hook on lock. A bit too far, I think.
The hook would have never reached the lock.
Okay. Maybe porthole? No.
First, it was too far. Second, the porthole was closed.
Okay. Cot?
I was all out of ideas.
What about this wire? Winch with winch cable.
Was it really worth it?
Well, what else can I click on? Hatch. Just hatch in general.
The hatch was within reach, but I couldn't see anywhere to attach the hook.
Okay. Right click. What can I put on? I mean, let's have a look at
One of the
CD
last
player.
Boney CD player models. I remember one of its selling points was the ability to be remote controlled. The uselessness of that function contributed to the failure of the product, but it could help me right at the moment. The player had no intention of opening manually. Better think.
So it's a remote control CD player.
No matter how hard I try.
No matter how hard I try. Sorry, guys.
Maybe.
CD player. CD player. What else could I use the CD player with? Cot. Anything else? Anything around here? Tent. There's a little hole there. No, nothing. Lock. Adhesive tape to... Don't know. I don't know.
In that moment,
Getting out of ideas now.
I thought it was better. Was it really?
No, it wasn't.
Through the porthole, I could see the starry sky.
Alright, didn't mean to
Freedom
click on
was
that.
close at hand. Yet
Thanks. Right, look at that.
it was a
Antenna.
thin, small, metallic pole.
Adhesive tape.
I thought it was better to...
What did you say about this?
Nothing. The blunt tip of the antenna slipped.
So I can't put that in there. I've got to use the hook on the hatch, I think. In fact, let me try something else. Let me try and use the hook on the porthole. I lift it. Go to the left. To the left, to the left. And then use the hook with a porthole.
There was no way to attach the hook.
Okay. To the cot.
Maybe. Or maybe not.
Right. It said something about using the hook with the hatch, but there was nowhere to have the hatch, was there? To attach to the hatch. What's the lampshade?
It was a lampshade.
This is remote controlled. Maybe I used that on the winch commands.
No matter how hard I... Did that bomb bottle really contain a secret? Well, at the very least. That month, I'd save on soap. No matter how hard I...
No, I'm trying to think if I could grease it up a little bit.
I thought it was better...
Yeah, I thought it'd be better to look for another solution as well.
I didn't under... In a corner, a dusty and worn-out cot had been placed.
I think there's got to be a spring you've got to get in here in a minute, isn't there? Oh,
It could collapse at any moment.
go on.
The end
Yeah.
of the bed was damaged, and a spring stuck out.
Excellent. I'm assuming we might use that spring with a porthole. Let's try it, shall we?
I didn't understand...
No. Okay. Well, if we're not going to use it with a porthole, then maybe we use it with a hatch.
I didn't understand...
Oh, come on.
Was it really... No matter how hard... I thought it was better.
Oh, I was just using
That was
things
all out
with
of-
things.
A spring I'd extracted from a mattress like a tooth.
Like a tooth. Maybe the lock.
I thought it was better to look for another solution.
Could I use the antenna in the lock? The lock pick?
Years of spy movies suddenly revealed themselves as nothing but shattered illusions. All I did was break the tip of the antenna.
Oh, that means it's not going to be blunt.
It was pointless to try again without...
So now I'm going to use the sharp end of the antennae with the porthole. Let's do this. Yes.
And that's why the porthole wasn't opening. The spring that regulated its hinge movement was rotten.
Oh, we take the
I
rest
could
of
have
spring
slid the
out.
rusty spring out of its housing, but without a replacement, I wouldn't have accomplished much.
I have a replacement. I have a replacement right here.
The new spring perfectly fit the housing.
Woo.
You ugly rat! You again.
Where's he going?
I must have climbed the side of the ship looking for something to eat. Well, wait a second. That means M is down there.
Excellent. Let's go out. But you know what? We're going to do that in the next episode. Well, we've progressed significantly today. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a big thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And until next time, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever you're doing right now. Take care.